Quantum physics has made a discovery that explains why you keep getting stuck in the same patterns and why trying to change your situation will never work. What you're really going through, realizing that you're not just going through life, but yourself reflected in life, is when everything starts to change. It's interesting that most of us spend our whole lives looking for ways to fix our problems from the outside. People move to new cities, change jobs, and break up with people. But they never stop to think about why the same stories keep happening. That's like battling the image of your face in the mirror instead of focusing on the face itself. We react emotionally to things that happen to us, which makes us feel worse, because we don't understand how deeply our outer world is linked to our inner state. This is the exact reason why most ways to change your life don't work. There is, however, a quantum principle that changes the whole game. You can stop fighting your circumstances and start changing the very thing that makes them happen once you realize that your outside world is reflecting your inner frequency. I'm going to show you the exact 4-step quantum mirror protocol that will change you from someone who is reacting to life to someone who is making it happen. In order for you to become the observer who shapes reality rather than being shaped by it, I'll also share the daily practices that will make this second nature. Before we go any further, remember that you were led to this message for a reason. Please share this transmission with someone else you know is on the same path as you. It's not just sending a link when you share. You're spreading this conscious energy and making a wave that will come back to you. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to make sure you stay connected to this frequency. It's like setting the tone for your energy. When you subscribe, you're telling the universe that you want to grow and are ready to receive guidance that is in line with your highest self. I'm about to show you how the worst things that happen to you are really your consciousness trying to wake you up. I'll walk you through a 4-step process to decode these messages, which can change the way you see the world. You might be thinking that right now that sounds impossible, especially if you're going through something that really hurts you or seems unfair. I completely understand how you feel because I lived there too. I thought that life was a series of random events, bad people and tough situations that I had to survive or get through for years. I spent a lot of time and effort trying to fix, change, or get away from the outside world. I never realized that what I saw out there was an exact reflection of what was going on in here. My whole world changed when I finally understood this truth. For some reason, it felt like someone had given me a key to reality. Suddenly, every hard thing that happened stopped being an attack I had to defend myself against and turned into useful information about the signals I was sending to the universe without even realizing it. This is what I mean by unconscious broadcasting. You send out energetic signals every day based on your deepest beliefs, your unhealed wounds, and your subconscious patterns, and you don't even know it. These signals are like currents that you can't see, but they are very strong. The quantum field all around you reads these broadcasts all the time and sends them back to you through your relationships, experiences, and situations. There's a reason why certain things keep happening to you no matter how hard you try to change them, like when someone sets you off, or when you keep getting stuck in the same kind of painful relationship. They are your consciousness, trying to get your attention by showing you the exact frequency you've been sending out without realizing it. I remember a time when I kept getting people who would eventually break up with me. They would leave just as I was beginning to trust them and feel safe. I thought they were to blame for a long time. They were emotionally unavailable, and I thought about why I had such bad luck with love. What was really going on didn't become clear to me until I learned to see these things as mirrors. Behind closed doors, I was sure that I wasn't worth staying for. That fear of being alone was playing over and over in my mind so loudly that it was making the very thing I was most afraid of happen. When you stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a curator of your frequency, you make a huge change. You stop feeling helpless when bad things happen and start to be interested. You start to wonder things like, what belief am I holding that would bring this experience into my life? Or, what part of my inner programming is being brought to light right now? This interest doesn't take away from your feelings or downplay the pain you're in. Your experience just gets a powerful boost of empowerment from it. The most beautiful thing about mastering this point of view is that your external triggers become like a sophisticated navigation system, pointing you straight to the parts of yourself that are ready to be healed or changed. That person who makes you feel small all the time, they show you where you might still be making yourself smaller. That thing that makes you feel helpless, it shows you where you've been giving up your power without realizing it. That pattern of stress over money that keeps happening, it shows you what you really believe about safety, worthiness, and having enough. I've learned that there are only two ways to look at life. Either as a bunch of random events that happen to you, or as holy feedback that is meant to help you grow. Random events will always make you feel like a victim, and you'll always be on the defensive and reacting. But if you see it as sacred feedback, you become an active part of your own awakening and use every experience as a chance to become more aware and create your reality on purpose. Something truly magical happens when you start to look at life this way. Because you know that everyone and everything in your world is just reflecting different parts of your own consciousness back to you. You stop taking things so personally. You become truly thankful for difficulties because you see them as gifts, chances to see and change unconscious patterns that you weren't aware of before. In no way does this mean that you should act like hard things don't hurt, or that you should spiritually avoid real feelings. In this case, it means learning to hold two truths at the same time. This experience is real and hard, but it is also here to help me grow and awaken. You have a whole new relationship with life when you can hold this paradox with kindness toward yourself. Click the like button if you agree. It's not just an algorithm cue, it's a quantum act. When you like something, you send positive energy into the video and let your subconscious know that you agree with this empowering truth, which makes it easier to integrate. In real time, the 4-step process I'm about to share with you will help you decode these mirror messages, turning times of anger or confusion into chances to learn more about yourself and grow consciously. You stop being overwhelmed by how complicated life seems and start seeing how beautifully simple it is that consciousness makes experience. If this idea moves you, please tell us why in the comments below by writing "My life is my message." Even typing these words should be seen as a statement to yourself and the universe. It means you are ready to stop seeing life as a bunch of random events and start seeing it as the sacred feedback it really is. This isn't just a religious thought, though. The science that won the Nobel Prize shows that your consciousness makes your reflection. If you understand this research, it will completely change how you think about the link between your inner world and the outside world. Think about the science behind it all. I know it might be scary, but I promise you don't need a physics degree to understand it. I really felt like someone had finally given me the missing pieces to a puzzle I had been trying to solve my whole life when I first heard about this study. These aren't just theories. They are real, measurable proofs that your consciousness is changing your reality in ways that people used to think were impossible. Let's start with cellular biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton, whose work has completely changed the way we think about how our beliefs affect our bodies. Scientists thought for many years that our genes decided our fate, and that our DNA basically locked us up. But Dr. Lipton's groundbreaking research revealed something truly amazing. Our beliefs and perceptions alter our genetic expression in real time. Your beliefs are like the librarian who chooses which books to read out loud. Your genes are like a huge library full of books. The genes that support being healthy, worthy, and able are literally turned on by the beliefs you hold about those things. Different genes are turned on when you think you are unsafe, unworthy, or limited. This means that every belief you have isn't just a thought in your head. It's being made real in your body at the cellular level. Even more important is the fact that these genetic changes don't just affect how you feel inside. Because you are always interacting with the world around you, the way your beliefs change your biology has a direct effect on how you act, how people react to you, and the chances that come your way. In a real sense, your beliefs shape your biology, which in turn shapes your outside world. Another area of study is that of Gregg Braden. His research showed something surprising about how the quantum field really reacts to us. Most people believe that the universe will give them what they want if they think good thoughts or want it badly enough. Braden's work, on the other hand, shows that the field doesn't reflect your simple thoughts or wishes. Your deepest, most honest beliefs are shown in it. This is the reason why someone can say, "I am abundant" 1,000 times and still have no money. If they truly believe that "I don't deserve wealth" or "money is scarce," that is the real message that the field is responding to and reading. Not being able to tune in to a nice classical music station is like having static on your radio. You're not in tune with the frequency that lets you hear the music, but it's always there. The research by Braden shows that positive thinking is not enough for real change. He calls it heart-brain coherence, which means that your emotions, beliefs, and thoughts are all in sync and sending out the same clear message. Being in this state forces the field to reflect back experiences that are in sync with that frequency. This brings us to Dr. Joe Dispenza. His research has shown that when you have this heart-brain coherence, you change your electromagnetic field in ways that can be measured and that go far beyond your body. His team has used advanced technology to show that people who are in coherent states produce electromagnetic signatures that are different from those who are fearful or scattered. What's amazing is that these changes in electromagnetic fields don't stay inside your body. They spread out and interact with the quantum field. It's like you turn into a human transmitter and send out a certain frequency that the field can read and respond to. When you're in alignment, trust, and coherence, the field reflects back experiences that are the same as the signal. When you're confused, scared, or at odds with something, the field shows you that chaos in your life. Mystics and spiritual teachers have known for hundreds of years that consciousness is more important than matter. These three researchers have essentially proven what they said. Your feelings, thoughts, and beliefs aren't just something you experience alone. They are creative forces that actively shape the world around you through scientifically measurable means. It's hard to believe what this means. It means that you are not a victim of fate or random events. You are not controlled by what other people do or the world around you. In a very real sense, you are the creator of your reality and have the power to change how you experience things at the quantum level. If this scientific confirmation makes you feel strong, say in the comments, "I am sending out a new signal." Feel the strength in that sentence. You are choosing to let go of old programming and start sending out the frequency of the reality you want by writing it. You are now in charge of the broadcast. So you know the science behind the idea that you are making your own reflection. Here's how to use this information in your everyday life. Now I'll show you the exact steps I take every day. Watch out, because you can't stop seeing these patterns once you do. This protocol has completely changed how I live my life, and I want to share it with you in a way that is gentle and doable, not hard. One thing I love about this practice is that it doesn't need long meditation sessions or hard rituals. It's meant to fit into the natural flow of your day, turning everyday moments into chances to become more aware and create with intention. The great thing about becoming more aware every day is that it's like having a loving conversation with your own consciousness all the time. You stop feeling like random things are happening to you in life and start feeling like you're actively taking part in a dialogue between your inner world and your outer experience. It's an adventure every day to find out what you're sending out without realizing it and how the world is responding. Here are the steps for this protocol. Let me show you each one. Don't forget that this isn't about being perfect or always getting it right. It's about getting to know the mirror that life is in a gentle and curious way. Step 1. Check the frequency in the morning. One of my favorite parts of the day is now here. What am I broadcasting today? Should be the first thing you ask yourself before you pick up your phone, start thinking about your to-do list, or interact with anyone else. This isn't a time to judge or analyze yourself. It's just a matter of being aware of the energetic signal you send out when you wake up. When I wake up, I sometimes realize right away that I'm worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. Sometimes in the morning, I feel excitement or gratitude that comes out of nowhere. I do not try to change what I find right away. I'm just interested enough to acknowledge it. I see I'm broadcasting worry about that meeting today. Or even I'm carrying this beautiful sense of possibility this morning. Being aware of this is very powerful because it helps you understand why certain things might happen to you during the day. What you notice in the morning is more likely to confirm your anxious frequency if you start the day with anxious thoughts. You'll probably find more things to be thankful for if you start with those. The point isn't to force yourself to feel good. It's to become aware of the signal you're sending so you can choose what to do about it. Step 2. Recognize the trigger. In this part of your day, the magic really happens. When someone or something makes you feel bad, don't react right away or try to change the situation. Instead, take a moment to ask yourself, what belief is this experience reflecting back to me? As a child, I remember getting very angry when my neighbor played loud music next door. Every single time. I asked myself what this experience was teaching me about my own consciousness instead of just being mad and complaining. What I found was very interesting. It wasn't really the music that made people angry. It had to do with my deep-seated belief that I couldn't change my surroundings, that people didn't respect me, and that I couldn't make the peaceful space I wanted. Everything changed when I realized that the outside trigger was just shedding light on these beliefs I already had. I could finally deal with the real cause, which was my feelings of helplessness, instead of just battling the symptom. Infuriating things happen when someone cuts you off in traffic, when your partner says something that makes you feel bad, or when your boss asks for something that isn't reasonable. These things are exact reflections of beliefs or wounds that are ready to be seen and healed. Step 3. Fix the frequency. You can make a choice once you know what belief is being reflected back to you. You can keep sending out the old frequency, or you can slowly change how you feel inside. It's not about pretending everything is okay or making yourself feel different. It's about making small, aware changes to how you feel inside. Whenever you feel like there isn't enough in your life, You might want to stop and appreciate something that is there right now. You could put your hand on your heart and say, "I'm sorry" to yourself for a moment if you catch yourself feeling unworthy. If you feel like you're showing force or control, you could take a deep breath and practice letting go of what is. There's no need for these changes to be big. Small changes in your internal frequency can often cause big changes in what shows up in the outside world. Step 4. Adding in the evening. This is starting to feel like a gentle review session with my own consciousness. Prior to going to sleep, take a few minutes to think about the events of the day without judging them. What did you notice were the trends? What kinds of mirrors kept showing up? What beliefs were made clearer by the people you met and the things that happened to you? This makes me feel like I'm having a friendly chat with my day. What did you want to say to me today? In what ways did I learn about my unconscious broadcasting? What frequency am I ready to change tomorrow? You shouldn't be harsh on yourself for things you didn't do perfectly. It's about being grateful for the new knowledge you gained and setting gentle goals for your continued growth. The last part is what I call the sacred mirror response, and it changes everything. Throughout the day, remind yourself to appreciate challenges because they make you more aware, and beauty because it confirms that you are in the right place inside. Try telling the person who upset you, "Thank you for showing me this belief I was carrying unconsciously." When something lovely happens, recognize it as proof that your inner frequency is set to receiving good things. You go from being a victim of your circumstances to a grateful student of your own consciousness when you respond in this holy way. Problems turn into teachers instead of foes. Beauty stops being a surprise and turns into confirmation. You start to see your whole life as a smart, responsive system that is there to help you awaken and grow. The thing I love most about this protocol is how it turns everyday events into something special. A tough conversation can be used to find patterns that you weren't aware of. Seeing a beautiful sunset confirms that you are open to receiving beauty. A delay that is annoying turns into feedback about how you feel about control or timing. You realize that everything has a purpose, is linked, and ultimately helps you grow. Something amazing happens when you follow this protocol every day for 30 days. You reach what I call the Mirror Master state. Share your commitment in the comments with the affirmation, "My challenges are my guides," if you're ready to embrace every step of your journey. Make a promise to yourself that you will approach life with interest instead of resistance. Each comment is a wave of thanks, recognizing that even the hardest things in life are meant to help you awaken. This is where things really get cool. Here, I'll show you the advanced state where nothing can set you off anymore, and how I got there. Being honest with you is very important to me. I thought this state sounded impossible, and maybe even a little unrealistic the first time I heard someone talk about it. How could someone get to a place where nothing sets them off? Don't you think that would make you feel disconnected or emotionally numb? The Mirror Master state isn't about becoming emotionless or detached, though, as I learned. It's about reaching a level of consciousness where your life isn't just a bunch of random events you have to protect yourself from, but a fascinating conversation with yourself. Let me share the moment I realized I had changed in a fundamental way. I was talking to someone who, in the past, had the power to make me angry in every way. This person knew just the right words to say to me to make me feel small, defensive, and angry. But while they were talking that day, something very strange happened. I didn't feel triggered. Instead, I was genuinely interested in what part of my consciousness this person was reflecting. Seeing how we talked to each other was like seeing a movie of my own mind. I used to feel attacked, but now I feel interested. Their words made me realize a belief I had been holding about not being good enough. It was a pattern that I had been following without realizing it for years. When they were critical, I didn't take it personally. Instead, I was thankful that they were so clear about what I needed to heal. Tap the like button now if you want to achieve this unbreakable state of awareness. That click should be a physical anchor for a quantum intention. It should be a sign that you want this level of peace, clarity, and mastery for yourself. For those of you who haven't made the change yet, know that it's perfectly fine and normal to not be there yet. As you follow the daily protocol every day, the Mirror Master state slowly forms. It's like getting stronger. There is a greater chance that you can see life as consciousness rather than circumstance each time you choose curiosity over reactivity and ask, "What is this reflecting?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" Being in this state gives you a strong sense of responsibility and the freedom to be creative in any way you want. When you really understand that everything and everyone in your life is reflecting some part of your own consciousness back to you, you realize that you have a lot more control over your life than you thought. Not control in a mean or sneaky way, but control through the frequency you constantly send out. I remember another important time when this really hit home for me. In a close relationship, things were getting tough, and I kept getting angry at what I thought was the other person's lack of communication. I worked hard for weeks to get them to be more open, expressive, and emotionally available. I got more and more angry as they pulled away from me the harder I pushed. Then it hit me like a lightning strike. Not only did this person show me how they talk to others, but they also showed me how I relate to being myself in real life. As I thought about it, I realized that I wasn't fully communicating or being honest about my needs and feelings in many areas of my life. I was the one who wasn't able to connect emotionally with myself. Everything changed when I realized this. I stopped trying to change them and started working on being more true to myself and expressive. I started being more open about how I felt and what I needed, and what took place was almost magical. When it came to communication, my frequency changed, and so did theirs. They became more open and honest on their own, not because I told them to, but because I stopped showing that I wasn't emotionally available all the time. In the Mirror Master state, you stop trying to change your reflection and start changing what you show the mirror. You know that each person in your life is perfectly reflecting different parts of your consciousness back to you of yourself. Your boss's harsh words may be showing you who you really are as a critic. Your unavailability could be a reflection of how you feel about intimacy in your own relationship. Your demanding family member may be showing you how you set limits and feel about your own worth. It's not just relationships that are hard that turn into mirrors, though. Everything does. As soon as you see a beautiful sunset and feel your heart grow, you know that your inner frequency is in tune with receiving beauty. For those of you who feel moved when you see someone being kind, you know that this shows how compassionate you are. When you see plenty and prosperity around you, you celebrate it because it means your frequency is in sync with seeing wealth and chance. Being in this state is like having a conversation with your own consciousness all the time, which is the smartest, most responsive, and loving teacher you could ever imagine. Every interaction, every experience, and every challenge turns into a chance to learn more about yourself and grow. The way it changes your relationships with other people is one of the most beautiful things about the Mirror Master state. You stop taking things personally when you really understand that everyone shows you some part of yourself. Real compassion for others comes from understanding that they are just acting out their own unconscious patterns, just like you have. It starts to become clear that the way they act around you says more about them than about you. You are fully responsible for your experience at the same time. You know that if someone treats you badly over and over again, it's not because you deserve it or that they are a bad person. This is because of something in your frequency that makes that treatment possible. Realizing this is very empowering because it means you can always change the situation by changing how you feel inside. The Mirror Master state isn't a place you get to and then stay there forever. You keep going back to that way of being, and each time you understand it better and feel smoother. It's okay to fall back into old reactive patterns every once in a while. Now that you know what's going on and have the tools to deal with it, you can gently bring yourself back to the state of curious observation. You have power when you move from reacting to being responsible. Say it in the comments below. I am the source of my experience. It's not about who's to blame. It's about getting back your divine creative power. Typing these words gives you a lot of power over your life because it reminds you that you have always had the power to change things. This level of mastery gives you the deepest understanding of how frequency and reality work together. This is the mind-bending part that ties everything together. Once you understand this, your reality will have to change itself. The idea I'm about to share with you will make everything we've talked about feel not only possible, but inevitable once you really understand it. It's what I call the reflection principle, and it explains why some people seem to effortlessly bring good things into their lives while others have a hard time, no matter how hard they try. The reflection principle is very simple. The world around you can only reflect the frequency you keep sending out. Nothing is working, not even your deepest wishes or the positive thoughts you have from time to time. The quantum field is very accurate. It shows you the real you, not the person you want to be or think you should be. Imagine that you are standing in front of a mirror and frowning. You are trying very hard to get your reflection to smile. It would take hours of begging, negotiating, and even getting mad at you for not giving in. The reflection will frown until you change your face, though, no matter what you do. The mirror isn't being rude or angry, just doing what mirrors do, which is reflecting what is being shown to it. This is what most people don't know about creating and manifesting. They are trying to get their reflection to change, but they are still sending out the same frequency. They want plenty but don't think they deserve it. They want love but are afraid of getting close. They want to be healthy, but they send out signals of stress and resistance. Then they don't understand why their outside world doesn't change. But something amazing happens when you master your inner frequency through the methods we've talked about. Because of how you've changed on the inside, your external mirror has to rearrange itself to match. There is no magic or wishful thinking here. It's a basic rule of how consciousness and reality work together. In the strangest way, this principle showed up in my own life. For years, I had a hard time with having enough money. I was always worried about it, checking my bank account with stress and believing that there was never enough. No matter how hard I worked or how many plans I tried, I kept having stress about money and unplanned costs that ate away at any savings I had. Then I started using the mirror protocol all the time. When I felt worried about money, I wouldn't worry. Instead, I would ask myself, what belief is this reflecting back to me? I learned that when I thought about money, my frequency was all about lack, safety, and fear. So many people in the field heard me say not enough, that it had to reflect back experiences of lack. When I stopped trying to change my outside financial situation and started changing my inner frequency around abundance, things started to change. I started to be thankful for all the money I had, no matter how little. I stopped being afraid and desperate with money and started to respect and value it. Most importantly, I started to feel abundant in ways that didn't involve money. I started to appreciate the abundance of beauty around me, the abundance of love in my relationships, and the abundance of chances that were open to me. My external financial reality started to change as my frequency changed from lack to abundance. Not right away or in a big way, but over time and without a doubt. Unexpected chances showed up. Money came in from places I didn't expect it to. I started to make choices based on trust instead of fear, which led to better results. My outside mirror was just reflecting back to me my new feeling of abundance on the inside. This is what the mirror shift can do. When you stop trying to change the outside world and start controlling your own frequency, the outside world will naturally change to match what you are consistently sending out. This is what the field has to do. There's nothing personal about it, and you're not being tested or favored. It's just responding to the vibrational information you send it. This principle gives you hope because it means you are never at the mercy of other people or events. You can change your frequency, and by extension, what comes back to you at any time, no matter what is going on around you. The outside world is neither your enemy nor your master. You can always see exactly what you're sending out in this faithful mirror, which helps you make changes. The most beautiful thing about mastering this principle is how it changes the way you deal with patience and time. You stop being angry that things aren't changing faster and start to trust the process. You are aware that your outside world will eventually change to match the new frequency you are consistently broadcasting. When you stop forcing, things start to flow. You stop looking for and start becoming. This knowledge leads to what I think is the most important realization, one that can change not only how you see your life, but also how you experience being alive. Affirm this strong intention in the comments. I am changing my frequency and changing my world. This will help you stop fighting the reflection and start living the life you want. Let's do more than just talk. Feel it as a change in your vibration right now. A promise to a new way of being that the universe can't help but reflect back to you. Now we come to the most important mirror awakening that will change the way you see your life for good. It's realizing that everyone and everything in your life is actually you, but seeing yourself from a huge number of different points of view. The 4-step daily protocol will help you master your inner frequency. As a result, your whole mirror world will change to reflect your new self-image. You stop letting your circumstances control you and take charge of your frequency. Now do this. Right now, look at your life and think of it as the most accurate frequency meter ever made. Everything you do, everyone you meet, and every challenge shows you exactly what you've been sending out. Also, do your frequency check first thing in the morning, before you even get out of bed. What am I broadcasting today? Just asking this one question will start to change everything. This is very strong because of this. Everything that has to do with quantum manifestation is based on this mirror protocol. Once you master this, you'll know how to make any reality you want happen. That's the basic idea on which everything else is based. You already know how to access infinite love timelines if you watched my previous video where I talked about the quantum heart bridge technique and how your heart is actually a quantum broadcasting device that sends electromagnetic signals 60 times stronger than your brain. This is because I can tell that many of you are ready to go even deeper. You now know how to create the coherence that quantum entangles you with the reality you want, thanks to the 4-step process that turns your heart into a love magnet. Remember that you are not having life happen to you. It's like seeing yourself in other people's lives. Switch up your frequency. Change your life. The mirror is ready to show you the exact person you choose to be. Before you leave, let's make a strong wave of creative energy together if this whole message spoke to you. One last time, say in the comments, "I am changing my frequency and my world." Your comment is the last strong link in this new awareness. Reading the other comments will help you feel the energy of everyone here who has chosen to take charge of their lives. You're not going through this by yourself. Finally, put this truth out there as a light. Share this video as a way to send light. When you do this, you send out a strong, energetic signal that not only helps other people wake up, but also brings more people into your life who vibrate at the same high frequency. By the way, if you haven't already, please subscribe to fully anchor this energy and keep going on your journey with us. We're all in this together,